Morning, Grandma.
Good morning, y'all. Thursday morning, cold outside. Um, I took a pork loin out of the freezer last night. And if y'all know, for my pork chops, most of the time I use the pork loin because it is so much cheaper than bone in pork chops. Now, if I can get them on sale, I do get the bone in pork chops. But I will use this one because sometimes I can get it for less than $2 a pound, and I will use it for my pork chops. And I'm making these kind of thin. You can cut them any width that you like, but I'm making these a little bit thinner than I usually do for just fried pork chops. Uh, I'm gonna put them. I'm gonna make them like smother fried, and I'm just gonna do them simple. I'm just gonna put salt, pepper, and a little garlic on them. I'm not gonna put any of the seasonings. So I'm cutting them. What would you say this is, honey? Roy's behind the camera today.
Pretty
Half
close to a
inch,
half inch.
about a half inch thick, because I want them to kind of cook quickly, and then I'm gonna put them in gravy and onions, and I'm gonna smother them. I got some green beans on that I'm cooking. I'm gonna fry some okra. And I've made some rice behind me. So we're just gonna have a good old southern smother fried pork chops, rice, gravy, green beans for our fried okra for our lunch today. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I'll do one more. Now, if I was going to grill these, or if I was going to pan fry them, or if I was going to deep fry them, I would cut them probably 3/4 of an inch thick. But since I'm not going to do that, I just want them kind of thin. All right.
Now you don't really want to overcook a thin pork chop, do you?
No,
You
no,
have
no,
to watch
no.
it. Don't overcook it.
You don't cook it long at all. And I've got just a little bit of grease. It's shallow grease in my pan back here. Uh, so it doesn't take long at all to cook it. So I'm just going to put a little salt, pepper, garlic, and I'm also going to season my flour. And I'm using gluten-free flour. Y'all know Pepper does that to me every time. I don't know why it makes me cough. But now I'm putting just a little bitty bit of salt and pepper, not much. Now, if you'll come over here, honey,
Okay.
I'm going to get my gluten-free flour, and I've got this on like 7. And I'm going to put some pepper. Now, I'm not measuring. You just put it according to the way you think your family will like it. I've got some tea back there I've got to make. Okay. Now, in my green beans, I have put a little bacon grease and a little butter, but I haven't salted and peppered them. So I'm just going to put a little salt and pepper in them and just a little bit of garlic. I always do garlic in my green beans because we just like it that way. And I'll cook all this liquid out. I do not pour my liquid out. These are canned when they come in the can because a lot of your nutrients in that water. And I know a lot of people do because they think it tastes like the metal of the can, but we don't. So I leave it in there so I can keep all my nutrients. All right. And I'm not going to put buttermilk on these. I'm not going to put egg wash or anything because I do not want a thick crust on it. I just want a real thin crust on these pork chops. Okay. All right, just real thin. And it's at a good temperature on, it's between 6 and 7 really. And I will only cook these like 3 or 4 minutes on each side because just till they get a little brown because I am going to put them in gravy. And they're going to cook a little while in the gravy. So, all right. I'm going to keep flouring these, keep cooking them. And, well, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave that wipe my hands off, and I'm going to go ahead and cut my onions. Y'all have seen me do this 1,000 times. Well, no, not 1,000, but a lot. So this was kind of a medium onion. I peeled it, cut it in half, and I'm just going to, and I cut that half in quarters, and I'm just going to slice it like this, because this is the size of onions. Now, if you want your onions smaller, that's up to you. But this is when I'm smother frying something, I like to do my onions this size. Now, this is one that part of it was bad, so I kept the part that was good. And I'm just cutting it, and I'm going to cut this one in quarters and slice it. I'm not going to do this one until I see if I need it, because I may not put that much onion in it. We'll see. All right. That's how I've cut my onion for my gravy. So we'll be back just as soon as my pork chops, these get ready, and I start to put some more in.
Those are pretty good, Mama.
Okay.
Pretty.
These cook like 3 minutes on each side. And I'm going to put these down. I've taken the lid off of my green beans because I'm going to let them cook down, cook some of that liquid out. And I kind of cook mine down. I don't, not till they're brown, but till all of that liquid cooks out. And I've got buttermilk on my okra. I'm not going to show y'all how I cook all this because I've shown you before. But I've got salt, pepper, buttermilk, and now I took these out of the freezer, so they're still real cold. But what I'll do, I'll put gluten-free flour, a little bit of gluten-free flour, and some plain cornmeal. I'll coat them, and I'll cook them in my little fry daddy there. So
you batter
them. I will batter them. All right, we'll be back just as soon as these get ready. I pour my grease up, and I start to saute my onions and start to make my gravy. See you in a minute. Come right here.
Whoop.
Okay, y'all see there is no liquid left in that pan. None at all. Okay, I'm going to turn them off. I had to cook this pork chop just a little bit longer because it was a little bit thicker. So now what I'm going to do, I've got a little strainer right here. So I'm going to get some of this grease off of here. I want about 1/4 of a cup left in. And I'm doing it in a strainer because if any of those sediments get in the strainer, I want them back in my pan, because that is what makes delicious gravy. Okay?
That's the flour that cooks off of the pork chops. And
Yeah.
that's what she loves to put in her gravy.
Okay.
Yep, there's
Now,
some.
there's a little bit. You see all those sediments? They are going back in my pan. Now, I'm going to, before I put my flour in, I'm going to put my onions in. And I'm going to saute these onions in this 1/4 cup of grease that I left in there and my sediment. Now I'm going to put salt, because you need salt in your flour, and I'm going to put just a little bit of pepper.
Black pepper.
Black pepper, yeah. That's about, yeah, black pepper. Okay. And if y'all see this, you see some pepper flakes in it, because I didn't use buttermilk or egg wash. I didn't get any what I call knots in my flour. So I just sifted my flour that I had dredged my pork chops in, and it's already seasoned. That's what I'm going to use for my gravy. If you do it with buttermilk or egg, you can't use that because it gets little clumps and lumps and all in it because of your buttermilk and your egg wash. But if you're just doing it like I did and putting a very light coating on it, then you can use your flour. So, and if anybody says, "Ooh, that's gross," I'm gonna cook this flour, okay? So it's gonna be fine. All right, I'm gonna saute these onions. I think my grease is getting hot, so about the time after I get my gravy made, then I'm gonna start dropping my okra over there. Okay. All right. Now, those I just wanted to caramelize them, brown them a little bit because they're going the onions are gonna cook in my gravy some. So, and if I need a little bit more grease, then I've got some right there that I can put in here to cook this flour. But I don't want my gravy greasy, so I don't think I may put just a tad more. That's not even that may be a tablespoon. I don't know. But that's how you want it. See? Because you want it to cook that gravy. And I'm going to cook the flour for about 2 or 3 minutes until some of that rawness cooks out of this flour. And then I'm going to add water to it. Then I'm going to put my pork chops in it. And I'm going to let it cook for I'm going to let my pork chops cook in my gravy and onions for like 10 minutes. Because like I say, they're kind of thin. I don't want to overcook them. I just want them to get, and I'm going to put a lid on them just so that gravy can smother around those pork chops. Gonna be good. So as soon as I start to put my water in here, then I'll bring you back and I'll show you what it looks like. All right.
Mom, you are killing me. I'm starving to death.
Okay. Am I still green?
You are.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I keep asking, am I still green? Because we have had mic problems. I had mic problems yesterday, and I've had it this morning. So I'm always asking, am I still green? If I'm green, I'm good. All right. My onions and flour has been cooking about 3 minutes, so I'm going to add my water now to this. Now, I don't want my gravy thin. I want it kind of thick because I want it to coat my pork chops. I had 3 cups in here. Don't know how much I'm going to use, but I'm going to show y'all a little trick in a second. Okay? I'll let you know about how much water that I put in here. But it's up to you. You can put whatever thickness you want your gravy. And you do remember there is a little bit of flour on these pork chops. Now, if I had used buttermilk and egg and made a thick coating on my pork chops, I would make my gravy thinner. But since I didn't, then I'm not going to make my gravy as thin. Okay. All right. Now, I always like to put just a little butter in my gravy. It just makes it makes it richer. It just really makes it good. All right. I think that is about the thickness that I want. Now, the little trick I'm going to show y'all. This is Kitchen Bouquet. It's a browning and seasoning sauce. I learned to use this. Roy and I used to sell cookware, and we would do home demonstrations It's called Miracle Made. It was through the West Bend Company. And back in, oh goodness, we were in our early 20s. We had 3 small children, and that's what we did. Roy was the district manager, and so we would go into people's homes and cook them a meal. We have done a little bit of everything that you can think of. So what I learned to do is, if your gravy, we like dark brown gravy. If your gravy is not quite as brown as you want it, now it only takes a tad, just a little bit of this kitchen bouquet, and it makes you have a golden brown gravy. Now it looks like a lot right now, but when I get it stirred up, it's going to be perfect. And that was probably a half of a teaspoon, maybe.
Is that better than putting color crayon in it?
Oh, yeah. Yes, it is. Okay. Now look at that gravy. That's how we like our gravy. And I need to add a little bit more water, so it's going to take about 2.5 cups of water. Okay, that's my gravy right there. Look at that. I need to taste of it. See if I got enough salt in it. I love cast iron, but they do get hot. The handles get hot. Nope. It needs a little bit more salt. All right. Now I'm going to turn it down to like 2, real low. But the consistency of the gravy is perfect. Now, I'm going to put my chops.
Oh my, chops.
Mm-hmm.
Here come the chops. Here come the chops.
In my gravy. I'm going to leave 2 out because I may not want it. Even though this is gluten-free gravy, I may not want mine in gravy. So I'm going to leave 2 out. All right.
Now you Southern guys know what this is all about right here. Gravy and fried pork chops.
Love that. All right. I'm going to get a lid down here. Put on this for like 10 minutes. My okra is ready to take up.
I would say it's ready right now. Looks like.
Perfect. That's the way Roy likes it, right there.
Yep, crispy.
Okay. I'm going to get something to put this on. And
we'll green beans go into the table right there, isn't it?
Yes, it is. All right. We'll bring you back. We're fixing to eat. Our pork chops are ready. Our green beans are ready. Roy took up our okra. So I'm going to make a plate.
Well, now, I like my okra a little darker and more crisp, like a piece of toast. Rose likes hers less so.
So I'm going to give him that it's a little darker. Okay.
But I use fried okra when I'm eating a meal like this as my bread. It's crispy. It's like eating toast.
Now, I made a little bit of rice. I'm not going to give Roy much rice, just a tad, because we don't eat a lot of rice. Okay? Mike, our son, is here, so I really made the rice for him. All right? Now, I'm going to get this bit. Now, this is the way you do it. You get your pork chop, and I'm going to use this spoon, and you put rice over your gravy over your pork chop, gravy over your rice.
Way to go, girl.
Woo! Y'all, look at this. Look at that plate. Roy is really hungry. Smothered fried pork chops. With gravy and onions. All right, baby. I'm going to get you a knife. And I'm just going to get you this knife right there so you can cut it. And need to get him a fork.
Well, if I wasn't on camera, I could just eat it with my hands.
You could. Yeah, there's your fork.
Oh my.
And this is my little pork chop right there. I told you I kept 2 out. Well, I ate the other one. Roy and I ate the other one. We are so hungry. Okay. How is it, baby?
You talking about starting a dog fight? Just throw this out in the yard with the dogs.
Good.
This is Southern living.
Been a long time since we've had smothered fried pork chop.
You just watch. You manage your carbs real close when you eat low carb.
Yeah.
But the way we do eat some rice every month, some potatoes every month. We just don't splurge all the time.
I want to taste of that pork chop.
Taste of your own.
I want to taste of this.
Oh my!
Because this is gluten free.
Honey, that's fantastic. And the green beans are just right. If you've never cooked green beans down like this, be sure and try this.
I don't put sugar in mine. I don't put any kind of sweetener.
Wow.
We like them with just a little bit of garlic, salt, and pepper. And if you want to, you can fry them on down and get them a little brown. They're really good that way too. Okay.
Southern pork chop, fried pork chop in gravy with vegetables. This is a Southern meal at its best.
It is. Love y'all. Subscribe to my channel. Share this video. Hit that little notification bell. Food feeds the family. Family feeds the heart. God feeds the soul. We love y'all.
Healthy, delicious food.
We'll see y'all next time.